Hello, this is close to sunset on December 10th, and this is a mouth of Yakugachi River. This river flows from the mountains, small mountains of Amami Island, which is south to Kyushu, Japan. The observation deck was built to show the one of the most northern mangrove forests in the world. So most of what you see before you are mangroves. And if you look closer, you can even find two kinds of mangroves. So one are kind of very dark green and short, and others are light green and more tall. So this is a mangrove forest which consists only of two species, but this is a real mangrove forest anyway. So mangrove forests are typically associated with tropics. And recently I was impressed. It's a 5 p.m. sign. Very frequently in Japan they have some kind of radio clocks available. So 5 p.m. and sunset is about 5:25, so I still have time to explain why I was so impressed. I was really impressed by the absence, by kind of high level of ignorance of these Japanese mangroves. So most of books related with mangroves say about something really core tropical, but here is not exactly tropical. It's 28 of degrees latitude, so it is subtropical zone, and this is one of the Japanese mangrove forest. In short, Japan has a big archipelago of Ryukyu, and southern islands are close to Taiwan. They naturally have mangroves. For example, Iriamote is one of the richest mangrove forests in Japan. Okinawa also belongs here. From here, Okinawa is about 200 kilometers to the south. And Okinawa has a good, well-developed mangrove forest of several species. Then comes Amami. Amami has, as you see, the really well-developed mangroves community. And this is the most northern mangrove forest in the world. There are two others. So north of Amami, there is the island Yakushima, amazing island, kind of skyscraper on the bottom of the ocean. It has very small patch of mangroves, again in the mouth of some river, because as you probably know, mangroves prefer to grow in a place where ocean water is mixed with the river water, kind of half salty, half fresh water. This is not very pleasant for most of living organisms except mangroves. And most amazing, there is a mangrove, not a forest, again a patch, on Kyushu Island, not far away from Kagashima. So this is the most northern in the world. So these mangroves are not kind of curiosities and not exactly exceptions. They show how we can establish mangroves in the places which do not have them, because mangroves are extremely important. Mangroves can find the global climate change. Look on them. So they grow in a place which is extremely productive because sun and water. Plants only need sun and water. So if you're able to accept this strange salty water, you can produce plenty of carbohydrates. And carbohydrates is a way to accumulate carbon dioxide. And carbon dioxide, well, it's kind of regarded as a problem. If something will accumulate the carbon dioxide in the places where accumulation is normally very good, well, this is helping us to decrease the level of carbon dioxide in atmosphere. Plus, raising seas is a very big problem, and mangroves can stand. They will be natural barriers which will prevent destruction of the sea coast and prevent the flooding. So mangroves may play extremely important role. Unfortunately, they are declining. And this example of very northern mangroves can be kind of teaching us how to make mangroves more widespread in the places where they probably were available in the past, because mangroves now, like in well, our recent Anthropocene era, covering very small percentage of the Earth. But in the past, mangrove communities were very widespread, much widespread. For example, even in London, there was mangrove forest. So we can see here how mangroves could be established somewhere else. So look on this Amami Island small bay. This is a very enclosed between the mountains, and that, I think, is the reason why mangroves survive here very well. So this kind of enclosement is a way to prevent very high temperature raises and drops, and then mangroves will survive well. Then you can see kind of meandering system of river mouths, and this is a one of sea base which comes right here. So if you have that mixture of rivers and seas, you have a good chance to grow mangroves. Plus species which I mentioned in the first, so kind of tall green, light green, and a smaller dark green. There are two things which are growing here very well: Candelia and Bruguiera. So this Candelia and Bruguiera are not available, for example, in Americas, but they can be grown there, and this is one of interesting chance to establish nice mangrove forest even on the very north climates. So as you see, this wonderful forest, which is now used for kind of, well, education people. So there are kayaking tours here, and people kind of try to understand how mangroves are important, what are they, and how wonderful, actually most wonderful, is a way as trees will grow right in water. How wonderful are these communities. This is Amami on December 10, which show us, again, not a curiosity, not just only exception, but a way to understand mangroves which will help us to survive in this world. Thank you.